Something Rotten is a musical that debuted on Broadway in 2015, and it's one that I have come to love. And I recently read through both the original version of the script and the junior version, and I found some differences that I would really like to point out, because I thought they were cool or interesting. So in the very first song, usually in the original version, the minstrel starts out with a little opening, right here, about just some things that have happened prior to the Renaissance, because that's when the musical takes place. But that little intro is completely scrapped from the junior version. Um, the minstrel just starts off with "Welcome to the Renaissance," which is what happens after these lines. Francis Bacon is not in the junior version, and neither is Walter Raleigh. No Tobacco, and no New World, and no Chicken. They just skip straight from here to we have a list of writers, which this would be above here. Ben Jonson, they don't talk about Christopher Marlowe, Thomas Kidd, Thomas Middleton, or Thomas More in the junior version. They just skip straight from Ben Jonson to Our Brightest Star. And they don't have the whole his plays are so brilliant, his writing is first rate, his acting is incredible, isn't he great in the junior version. They just we love him straight to the chorus. There's extra. We love him in the playoff, that is not included in the junior version. Oh, this one, okay, I'm a little bit sad about this one, actually. Well, no, I'm not, because it makes sense why they changed it, because this line is not exactly appropriate for a junior version, and I can 100% understand changing it. But they made it's dress rehearsal now. It is actually dress rehearsal. But in the original, it's not dress rehearsal, which I'm a little bit sad about. Um, this was just something small. Nigel does not do his whole little thing about, does not say his whole little thing about King Richard contemplating his morality in the junior version. So, in the original, Nick gives Nigel a little bit of, like, critique. He says, change tombstones to epitaphs. But in the junior version, it already says epitaphs. And he doesn't read out the whole thing in the junior version, just the let us talk of graves, of worms, of epitaphs. Nick does not get to say that the lovers killed himself. Also, the entire little joke of Nick constantly spoiling Shakespeare's plays for Lord Clapham is cut in the junior version, which I really like that joke, so I'm a little bit sad about it being gone, but they gotta cut something. Weirdly, a lot of Peter Quince lines are cut in the junior version, and I'm not sure why. I kind of noticed this, but this was like a small one that I saw early on. Before God I Hate Shakespeare, Nick has this whole little back and forth with Nigel, and Nigel says, this is the funniest thing he ever said. This is so funny. But that just doesn't exist in the junior version. And also, the name of the song is changed because, religious references. I get it. And they also can't include, this and this. So it's just some small. I really like what they did with the junior version to censor out the swear words. Yeah. Also, I don't know why catatonic. I guess it adds more to the rhythm of the song, but I am a little bit confused as to why it has to be catatonic audience. Okay, so this one's a little bit confusing. I'm gonna try and explain it, but I noticed that, so the first time the troop does the whole "how can you say that" um, is replaced in the junior version with the second time that they say it. See, so this is the first time, and that just doesn't exist here. This is the second time, and these are the same. This is the, wait, yeah, this is the whole bit that's cut because they had to remove the pieces in between the first and second "how can you say that" because this one's cut. So they did kind of rearrange it a little bit. See, Nigel's whole little silly little song about Shakespeare is still in, but it's like rearranged a little bit. But like after Nigel does his whole little song is cut down a lot. See, there's the whole little I try to emulate Shakespeare. There's your problem. You're so blinded by the bard who's such a pompous little man. And they removed. He can't. He doesn't steal anymore apparently. And then see, this is the part that's included in the final version of the junior. So how it works is this part replaces this part, and then the stuff that's after this part usually is condensed down a little bit and placed after this part. And then I just wish that he would go away. It's just like completely gone, but it's not gonna happen because he's the greatest writer that England ever known. That segues into this still. That's another thing I hate about Shakespeare. The poster child for why no one should ever procreate is just completely cut. I know why, but I just think that's funny. Also, Nick screaming is cut out of the entire thing. Like, there's a lot of moments where Nick just, like, yells at his troop, and that's just gone from the junior version. I don't know why exactly, but I just think that's funny. They removed the part where their parents died. See, okay, so... Oh, shoot, my mouse is... So 2 orphan brothers, their father lost at sea, whose mother died of a broken heart. That just does not exist in the junior version. Their parents just didn't die, apparently. Oh, they removed the thing about the toilet flushing. But I really like what they did here. Some people are saying the world's actually round, not flat. Like, that's the new funny thing. But, they can't say swear words, so they gotta, and like, toilet, I guess, I don't know, man. But, swear words are gone and toilet is gone. Okay, so this was something that I thought was a little bit weird. They removed the fact that Shylock is Jewish. See, he's just, like, and I guess, like, Shylock can be seen as a little bit of a caricature, but I don't really see that. I don't know. I really don't like that, and, like, he says a lot of Yiddish words in the original, and those are just completely removed from the junior version. I don't know why they did that. I would like to figure out why, but it's not like I know. Also, I thought it was funny that instead of being hanged at Tyburn, they're hanged in front of an angry mob, because people can't know about the hanging tree. Oh, for this one, the junior version just skips straight from, ooh, what is it, to, well, we've had the idea that we need an idea. Which, I get it, cutting out some lines to make it shorter. I understand. A lot of right-hand man is cut down, this whole part, so when the pressure's coming, let me be your right-hand man. This just skips straight to, not until I know that if you're ever in a fix. See, if this will go away. But this whole thing with if you're ever in a pickle, this whole little bit, eat your cabbage, this little back and forth is cut. I get it, I get it. I gotta cut some things down. They also took out the little part before she says, "Let me be your right-hand man" twice. Well, before she sings it, like, it just goes straight from "I'm gonna get you boys some meat" to the end. There's no "baby, I'm your right, don't put up a fight, I could be your right, starting here tonight." That's cut. There's just a few minor changes in here. It's really not that big, but I just noticed a few minor changes. Like how Nick says a line right here in between Nigel's two lines. But that's pretty much it. Oh, they removed the whole I'd give my left nad to be Shakespeare, which makes sense, you know. But I just thought it was funny. So they skip straight from I hate the way he makes me feel about me to if I could only have one tiny little smidgen, which, you know, it's nice because those two lines rhyme. So it's an easy little transition. Oh, okay, I thought this was a little bit interesting. Instead of Nick asking Eye Patch Man for a soothsayer, he just asked this astrologer for a soothsayer, which I think is weird and kind of messes with the plot, because the whole point is that, you know, the Eye Patch Man is the spy for Shakespeare. So I just thought this was a little odd. They cut Nostradamus's little "Am I hired? Actually, I know I will be. I'm just being polite," which I think is a little sad because I thought that was a cute line. Oh, and so, okay, in productions of Something Rotten, Nostradamus can be played by either a man or woman actor. But I like how they included the alternate name for Nostradamus in the junior version. But there is, you know, Nostradamus doesn't do the "I promise," which is such a cute little line because it rhymes with Nostradamus, and usually, in the case of a male actor, rhymes with Thomas, but it also rhymes with Nostradamus, so you could do it with Nancy Nostradamus. What the heck? And also, Nostradamus doesn't do the whole "I predict for you a new life with no teeth," because the whole like pregnancy plot is scrapped. B does not get pregnant in the junior version. B does not have a child. There's a lot of remnants of like B not being pregnant that I'll show off later on. And then there's no "Beware the sign of the black dog." Nick just automatically accepts the paying Nostradamus to see the future, which I think is a little odd because like that's the whole reason that he decided to accept. I don't know. Oh, they don't have the little "I'm a writer." I knew that, and I'm a little sad about that because it's another cute little Nostradamus line. I love Nostradamus as a character. They don't have, you know, what will the audiences be lining up to see, but that's a small thing. And instead of "that much for a glass of wine," it's people opening candies wrapped in magical clear paper that's annoyingly noisy because, you know, again, making it more appropriate. And then just a small little change that I noticed in removing a swear word, which I guess like hell's not that bad, but I would not want to see that in a junior version either. Oh, they don't have the whole this whole bit is scrapped. It just goes straight to "you could go see a drama" because, you know, this and this are not appropriate for children to be performing, so I can see why. Oh, they don't have this whole thing. It's like a small part. It's not that integral to the song, but it's just a little small part that was cut in the junior version. Um, and instead of having the whole it's supposed to create a dramatic effect, mostly you just sit there asking yourself why aren't they talking. That's cut. I thought that was a funny line, but also it isn't super important to the song, so I get why they cut it. And then there's no. And what's not to love? Such a delight, there's nothing quite like a musical. And then straight to another vision. Oh, and then a small little change for cutting out swear words. These are two little small changes. Oh, they don't have the little musicals have just two acts. The part that's not included in the cast recording, they don't have this part in the junior version because the junior version is a one act, which I thought was funny. And they don't have the little reference to Susical. And women can't be risque and can't mention gay people. They also don't have this part. I don't think they have the reference to Evita anymore, like musically. But they do have, they still have the homage to Rent. But they skipped out the Jesus Christ Superstar and segue straight into Annie. They don't have the whole Uza's big applause, and then they cut out this part with the chorus line, which I thought was sad. I feel like children can dance in a chorus line, but like just make them go in a kick line. It's not that bad. And then they don't have the la 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 political. This whole part is cut. It just goes straight from Half a Chance to Cross My Heart, Hope to Die. Oh, and then they skipped the whole bit with, the lady who steps in front of Portia. It's funny. They just go straight to Puritan, are you mad? Do you know who her father is? Oh, okay. And then they removed the whole. Understandably, they removed a lot of Brother Jeremiah's, Brother Jeremiah. He's just, he's just like hyper religious now. No, whatever this is. I 100% get why. That's a very reasonable change, actually. And then instead of like having this whole prep for like explaining what a musical is, he just goes straight into, I've got it. We'll do a musical. This, and then there's this part is cut out where another mention of the two brothers from Cornwall story, and was the Bible written from the heart is also cut. And then the Black Death. And a lot of the Black Death is cut down because of this, mostly. That just, they skip this line and go straight to the part where they're just humming. See? And then they also don't have this whole line because, you can read. And then instead of saying dancing is, also, I do really like that they kept the Den of Iniquity line. It's just earlier on. See? Dens of Iniquity. That's funny. Okay. But then And, there's not the whole thing where Robin, Brother Jeremiah looks at Robin in his dress, he curtsies, and then there's people dressed like reapers. And then instead of this whole part happening, it just skips straight to here. And then instead of, this promoting lustful desires, it's just Puritans can't dance. And instead of, ungodly erections, it's just, we'll throw cabbages at you, which I think is really funny because Nick goes, great, dinner. I really like that. That's a really funny thing that's not in the original. And then instead of having Brother Jeremiah call himself a magistrate, Lord Clapham does it at the end. And also, this whole tied to a post is cut out reasonably, entirely reasonably. And, instead of having religious nutters frighten Lord Clapham, Clapham, I don't know how to say it. I don't remember. It just mentions how Brother Jeremiah is a magistrate. Again, Peter is just, they're all just cut into, and also they don't mention the reaping, apparently, because, they didn't just do that. And also Nick, again, cut out Nick's, screaming. Nick's not allowed to scream anymore, apparently. Oh, okay, this was a small thing. B does not get to flirt with women in the junior version. It's really funny. Oh, and then, minor word change for swear word. Just a bunch of minor changes. Yeah, so Portia and I Love the Way is really toned down in the junior version. Because Portia's a freak, and she's not allowed to be a freak anymore. So, this line, instead of this, it spoke to her soul. And then instead of seductive appeal, it's a pleasing appeal. Yeah. And then it skips straight from, a pleasing appeal to every time I hear a perfect rhyme. So there's no, the candlelight fire ignites my desire to read. That's not in the junior version. And then this whole part is cut, reasonably, because there's lines like this. And then, this whole bit is entirely reasonably cut out. And then, instead of pulling the paper out of his codpiece, he just pulls it out. I don't think they have codpieces in the junior version. For good reason. For very good reason. Oh, okay. This was a weird part where, there was some scenes that were rearranged. So, okay. After I Love the Way, Nigel and Portia receive the invitation to Shakespeare in the Park. And in the junior version, directly after they receive the invitation, they run out, and Nick runs in. And he has this whole thing with Shylock. But that scene in the original takes place after Willpower, but before Shakespeare's after party. And right before Shylock and Nick conversate, B tells Nick that she is pregnant. So, since B's pregnancy is removed, they took out that scene, and since this scene was not small enough to justify its own little part, I guess, they just pushed this to the end of the the Nigel and Portia receiving the invitation. But I think it's a little weird because, like, the main reason I feel that, Nick's motivation changes is because now he has, like, a baby to think about. Um, and then, more removing him being Jewish because for some reason, a bunch of Yiddish words that they just took out. Yeah. And then, Shakespeare doesn't say, I'd like to feel you a little bit later. Because, it's the junior version that's not gonna cut it. So the whole part where he sings the part from, I forget what scene it is, but the one from Romeo and Juliet, is cut too. It goes straight from the first chorus to I am the name you want to see up on the bill. Oh, this is the whole scene after Willpower that is, just cut. And then, there's the whole thing where Nick spoils, Richard Richard the Third for Lord Clapham. And it's really funny. And then B announces her pregnancy, and then after this is the whole thing with Shylock. So, this is the scene that is cut from the junior version. Which, this bit is cut. It's so sad. I love this little joke. But B isn't allowed to be pregnant anymore. Oh yeah, so Portia doesn't get drunk in the junior version. It just goes straight from the start of the thing to it's Thomas Middleton, and then instead of young Bottom I see, it's a young Nigel Bottom. Instead of let's drink to that, they just Shakespeare. Also, I think that this is wrong. I feel like the crowd goes Shakespeare, like says Shakespeare in the. I could be wrong. Again, I don't have like the most current version of the original script, so this could have been updated, but I feel like the crowd does the little Shakespeare thing. But anyways. His idea. Oh, there's no. Okay, so in the junior version, Shakespeare doesn't quote Romeo and Juliet right here, and there's no "by my troth, your grape is stupid." It's so sad. It's so sad. I need "by my troth, your grape is stupid." That's such a fun line. It just skips straight from or his ideas to down here. It's so sad. Oh, there's no, Portia isn't drunk, so she's not Bible, bibble, bibble, bobble, bobble. And then there's no smite these bottoms, because, Brother Jeremiah's not allowed to be Brother Jeremiah because it's a kids now. Instead of being deranged, it's just Puritan. This is a small thing, but you gotta watch your back with this guy is not in here. And then another small thing, about removing Shylock's being a Jew. He's not Jewish anymore. I really don't know why they did that. I have no clue why they did that. I would really love to know why they did that. Instead of I knew you'd be back. So many cute little Nostradamus lines are removed. I'm so sad. Like, I knew you'd be back. That's such a cute line. That's such a cute line. And it's it's because he's a soothsayer. Or they're a soothsayer, I guess, because they took the female Nostradamus approach in the junior version. Oh, and then they don't have Little Shop of Horrors. But, I really like what they did later on. There is a Little Shop of Horrors reference that, does get brought up. That wasn't in the original that I really like. Why is the shop little? Small horse? And then instead of saying that he's kind of desperate, he says the truth is. What is it? What is it? Oh, he doesn't say that he's got a baby on the way. Nostradamus doesn't say the whole new life with no teeth. They just skip straight to here. Oh, and okay, instead of Bottom, the song name is changed from Bottom's Gonna Be on Top to Nick Bottom's Gonna Be on Top because, innuendo. And instead of me and Baby are so eternally grateful because she's not pregnant anymore, she says me and Nigel are so eternally grateful in the junior version. Also, I flipped these, I think. The top is supposed to be the original and the bottom is supposed to be junior version, but I accidentally flipped these. Oh well. Okay. So I am really sad about this. The whole little tap dancing battle between Nick and Shakespeare is cut from the junior version, and it's so sad because that little moment is so funny. I love the tap dancing battle, but I guess children can't tap dance. No, but it is kind of reasonable because it does add a lot of bloat to the song, but they couldn't even include like a whole little like Shakespeare Nick like this thing, I never thought I would meet my equal, because I feel like that is an important part of Nick's vision, is that now he thinks that he's better than Shakespeare. I feel like that's kind of critical to Bottom's Gonna Be on Top, but I don't know. It just goes straight from here to here. And there's no, we are the royalty of the Renaissance writers, we're handing down the crown to you. And instead of going bottoms up, because references to drinking, he just Nick Bottom's gonna be on top. Woohoo! Woohoo! And okay. So, because junior version is a one-act show, there is no act 2, so there's no need for Welcome to the Renaissance reprise. So it just goes straight from Bottom's gonna be on top to Shakespeare's study. And also, Hard to Be the Bard is cut, which I get it, it's not that, plot. There's, one little bit of plot importance where Shakespeare is, alerted to, what Nick Bottom's been doing by a spy, but that's really it. That's the only plot importance of the show. It's just, most of it is characterization of Shakespeare. But, they have a little, he says it's hard to be the bard, which is funny. There's a little cute little references to the song. I like it. But then here's what they do for the little spy, and then they have some lines that are taken directly from the song. It's cute. So instead of hiding the singing children from the Nazis, it's from a giant man-eating houseplant, which is the something, or wait, no, it's the not the something rotten reference, the Little Shop of Horrors reference that I mentioned earlier, because they couldn't include Little Shop of Horrors, which, it's cute. I love the little Shop of Horrors reference, but they removed the whole thing with the Nazis because, it's not a super important part of the plot. It's just a funny little thing that is included in the original, but, and then more removal of Shylock being Jewish. I don't get it, man. Nick's little solo in It's Eggs is cut out. Shylock just cuts off the after the first It's Eggs little thing. And they don't have the whole the people who've come in from Jersey, because the funny little bit how Jersey like New Jersey, but Jersey like in England, yeah. But they don't have this. They don't have this. It's just the thing about the audience, meh. I don't get it. I miss the Reapers. We need better dresses. Is gone. Robin doesn't talk about dresses, and Snug doesn't miss the Reapers, apparently. And then they don't have the whole little, Toby's not from York in the junior version. Wait. Man, I swear I meant to include this, but the whole thing where he's like, I like the New York actor, is not in the junior version either. Um, and then this whole little thing, is a little bit, okay, so, he doesn't say this is the idea omelet, and then he says it doesn't feel right. This little bit is cut. Um, and then Nostradamus doesn't say the whole thing about Yoko because I guess, children wouldn't know who she is. The junior version, those kids, they don't know about Yoko. Um, okay. And okay, I really do like what they did with the junior version here, where Ode to Portia is like the Ode to Portia scene is no longer like supposed to be um, a massive giant innuendo, um, and is now like a cute little. Oh, let me help you. I'll read it with you. I'll help you be confident because Nigel's so nervous, and it's so cute. It's so cute. I like what they did with this one. They don't have, let me take a little more persuasion for those who think it's better. Doubts will soon be fading. It just goes straight from we can show them that's not who we are to we'll show them true love finds a way in the junior version. Um, and then instead of having if you live in sin, you let the devil win, that's just cut out. Uh, it just goes straight from God has plans for you to this. And then Nigel reads his little poem. Okay, so Nigel stops reading his poem, uh, and then instead of Brother Jeremiah doing this whole little thing, it just goes straight to I need no further proof. This whole part is cut out. I get it. It adds bloat to the song. They need to make it shorter, but it's a fun part. So I'm mentioning this, and it's a pretty big part of the song. And also, they, for some reason, changed what Puritan 2 and Puritan 3 are saying. Um, it, I don't know. I don't know why they did this. But, it's not that big of a change. It's just something funny that I noticed. Instead of lustful desires, there's this. Nigel's song is cut down a little bit. And he doesn't sing the little part of to thine own self be true. He just let it speak for my soul. Nigel's monologue is cut down a little bit, and there's no, wait. This part as a whole is a lot shorter. And he realizes his own life has no meaning. He's so depressed that he wants to kill himself, but he can't even make up his mind about that. His true love is that's in the true love being forced into a religious exile is in the junior version. Then he descends into madness and dies, and everyone dies, and the whole stage is covered in bodies and blood and death, and the rest is silence, and they're all left. That's not in the junior version. There's no this whole part. It just goes straight from just reading what you wrote to okay, fine. And also Robin says this instead of Francis Flute, which I thought was a little odd. And instead of this part being like sung, which okay, for some reason on the script it's not listed as being sung. Because again, I think that this isn't the most current version of the script that I have. But this is just a spoken line, and it's in the junior version. It goes straight from here to here. Oh, and okay. So During To Thine Own Self Be True, Shakespeare, in the original, keeps trying to get the papers, but he is not successful. But in the junior version, he does get the papers, and so there's no need for the scene where Shakespeare and Nigel are talking, and Shakespeare's like, oh, this has all been done before, blah, 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 blah. Oh, and the whole end of To Thine Own Self Be True is cut. He just, will give the audience what they're hungry for. Omelet, the musical! There's no, little song. The scene just ends there. Okay, so this is the scene that's cut out of the junior version. Shakespeare as Toby is like, this is, Shakespeare did, and then Shakespeare walks off as Toby and comes back as Shakespeare, and then he's like, it's a lot of cliches, you shouldn't put your name on this, but you should work on omelet. Write your omelet, not this, forget this, write that, Oh, and then B doesn't have a baby shower, and so the ladies are not here in the junior version, so this little bit is gone. B doesn't talk about pregnancy in the junior version. She's just like, oh, I was gonna bring you guys some lunch. How's the show going? And then she says she doesn't say goodbye to the ladies because the ladies are not there in the junior version. Oh, okay, Right Hand Man reprise is cut from the junior version, which is really sad, because it's a nice little song, and I really like it as, another instance of B. It just goes straight from this to here, or to here, actually. There's no Right Hand Man reprise. It's so sad, because it's like, I love Right Hand Man reprise because B is literally going, no matter what my husband has done, I will still love him, and you know that he will still love you, and so it's it's so cute. I love it, and it's such a Oh, okay, this is something small. I have speaker notes listed, and it just says Zounds with a sad face. I got, when I was making this, I got really sad that Zounds was not included in the final, or in the junior version, I mean. But also, I really do like that they kept Robin as the queen. That's really cute. If Mama weren't married to it. A lot of little small things, right? Oh, the whole thing with the Nazis is cut because, no Nazis. And they're not making war against the Puerto Ricans. And they don't have Luck Be a Lady. But they do have the chorus line reference right here. So they don't have My Father Said This to Me, that he did, and then he blew me. Obviously, it just goes straight from hand it back a mug of lemonade to You Make Wine from Sour Grapes. Oh, there's no Nostradamus doesn't get to come out as the Phantom. I'm so sad. Nostradamus is not the Phantom, because the scene where Nostradamus early on says, no, not the ghost, the Phantom, is kept in the junior version, but Nostradamus doesn't get to be the Phantom in the junior version because the Phantom doesn't come out in the junior version. And also there's the little thing about Troubles in River City and Shapoopy Chicago Omelet. So there's, the Music Man and Chicago. I think there is still the reference to the Music Man in the junior version where it's like, you got trouble, I say, trouble. That still exists in the junior version, but this is another reference to the Music Man. They don't have the instructions on how to make an omelet. They don't have it. I'm so sad. Look at this. For melt the tables, this you can actually, if you follow this, you can make an omelet, and they don't tell you. I'm so sad. Oh, and then this is Shakespeare interrupting is a little bit different. The Nick doesn't get interrupted. The song ends, and then Shakespeare Toby says something. It's not interrupted. And then also therein lies the rub. The rotten one is you is a little bit different. Oh, okay. Okay, this was really funny. So, in the original version, I love when Shakespeare is like, hey, by the way, Shakespeare's Richard II Club Theater previews begin Saturday. Okay, bye. Yeah, that just happened. But in the junior version, he just goes, yeah, that just happened. Exit Shakespeare. Still funny, but like, he doesn't advertise. Why doesn't he advertise? Oh, and then just a small little Brother Jeremiah changed for the sake of Brother Jeremiah. Again, removing Shylock being Jewish. But I think that's only the major. That's the only one. Oh, okay, so a lot of original parts of To Thine Own Self Be True reprise, like the original parts where Nick is like doing his whole little why did I wander so far from the man that the two of you knew I could be, that's just cut out. It goes straight from Nick's To Thine Own Self Be True to the To Thine Own Self Be True that he does with Nigel. And also B, I guess. And then instead of this royal throne of kings, this sceptered isle, this blessed plot, this earth, this realm, this England, it's just this royal throne of kings, this sceptered isle, this England. And then Nick kisses B, and Brother Jeremiah, look, homosexuals, but that's not in the junior version. And then there's, wait, the world of better. And then, Shakespeare doesn't do the whole, this amazing woman, this impressive actor, persuaded me that I could make a stand for speech today. I'd say you got about 20 free speeches there. No, it just goes straight to all's well that ends well. And also, Nick doesn't say, stop giving him your best stuff. And instead of saying exit Shakespeare here, because he already used up his exit Shakespeare, he just says, I'm Shakespeare. And then this line's changed, again, just a little bit to get rid of swear words. Okay, and then this line is cut because, they removed the fact that Shylock is Jewish. Still don't know why they did that. Just a small little thing. In Welcome to America / the finale, it goes straight from Nick and Nigel Bottom to We Came from London on a Boat. There's no starting out with nothing but each other. And then writing plays just like our mother said we ought to do. He almost got us all beheaded instead of he just got banished. Yay! That's cut. And then the little bit right here, nothing as amazing as a musical, it just stops here. No song and dance, sweet romance, and happy endings happening by happenstance. It will be only the beginning. This little bit is cut. And then it just goes straight to Shylock being Shylock. Heart. Okay, those were the only differences that I noticed in Something Rotten when compared to the junior version. I'm sure there were other minor differences or even major differences that I didn't catch, but these were just the few that I noticed. So thank you!